What can you tell us about Rick, the person?
I think the first thing I think about is just extremely genuine and humble person. He had this, on top of that, he had this burning desire inside to be the best at everything. You know, he was quiet about it, but you could tell he wanted to be the best, and he worked extremely hard to accomplish his goals. And he was a guy that loved camaraderie, loved being around the guys, loved going out for team dinners, and listening to chirping and practical jokes and that kind of thing. And an extremely loyal friend. He'd do anything for you if you were one of his friends.
For people that didn't know him, he seemed really quiet, a man of few words. What can you say about him when he was alone with friends?
Yeah, he always had this quiet, mysterious side to him for sure. But I played with him for a long time, and it took a good 3-4 years before he really opened up to me, and we built that trust. But I've said it before, he was like a brother to me. And when he confided in me, after that, our friendship kind of took off, and had a lot of deep conversations, and spent a lot of time together. And he was just an amazing person.
Talk about that. So once he confided in you about what he was battling, is really when the bond strengthened?
Yeah, I would say for sure. The fact that he felt comfortable talking to me when he was in a vulnerable state, and I had a little bit of experience with the issue before, helping out some other people, but again, I wasn't really a doctor or psychologist, so I did the best I could to give him my advice, and then, with the help of others, we kind of steered him in the right direction. But, I definitely say our friendship took off after that.
It wasn't well known, obviously, his battle, and then it became well publicized once he passed away. If he was here, what would Rick's message be about mental illness?
He would want to raise awareness for sure. There were several times he made attempts to set something up where he could go speak to children and spread his his struggles and try to help other people. And that's the thing, he was so considerate of other people, and he didn't want to be a burden to other people, and he wanted to make sure that he could help out any way he could. So that's why we're here today, is we're trying to raise awareness for it and eliminate that stigma that you have to keep it to yourself.
You've had to speak about this a few times. Does it ever get easier to talk about?
No, not really, but like I said, it's something that I want to do because I knew it was important to him to help out others. So I'm trying to carry along his message, and if he were here today, he'd be at schools, he'd be speaking, and he wouldn't want anybody to go through the same thing he went through.
Why do you think it's so difficult for someone that suffers from mental illness to talk about it, to open up about it?
Well, there's the stigma right away that it's a weakness, I think, and people don't want to admit that. And on top of that, it's not really a tangible disease. It's not something you can really put your finger on. So often there's denial and there's misdiagnosis, but I think looking at the signs and looking at the symptoms and trying to get a handle on it right off the bat, it definitely helps out in the long run. And the people that they're usually going to are friends first, and friends got to do a good job of making sure that they go to the right people and use the right resources to help each other out.
How quick was your learning curve when you first found out about Rick's struggles? Did you immerse yourself in it and try to find out exactly what he might be going through?
Yeah, I did. And it's one of those things where unless you're suffering from the disease, and I've talked to several people about it that are currently suffering from depression and anxiety, unless you go through it yourself, you can't totally understand it. So I think that's the first thing you have to understand as a friend helping out, is you can't understand how they're feeling and what they're going through. Being an ear for them helps out, I think, and then listening to their problems, and then directing them towards the right people that can help them. And that's the responsibility of a friend.
How do you think your decision to speak out now on the subject will help others?
Well, I'm hoping it helps a little bit. I don't want somebody else to go through the same thing as Rick. That's why we're here, to help other people that are struggling through it, and we're here to raise awareness and to get people talking about it and get some dialogue.
You said that a lot of times people that are suffering with mental illness go to friends first. What type of role can a friend play to someone who might be suffering with the disease?
I think a friend has to be supportive first and foremost, and like I said, you have to be an ear to listen to their problems. And I know with me, the thing was, you don't want to breach his trust, you don't want to breach his or her trust. You want to be there for them, but at the same time, you're responsible when you're one of the only people or the only person that knows about the struggles your friend's going through, it's your responsibility to make sure that they see the right help and they go through the right channels to get help.
How fine of a line is that when you're trying to balance their trust with making sure they get the proper help?
It's tough. It's tough for sure, but at the end of the day, you know, you're looking out for your friend and you want the best for them. So, you know, sometimes, you know, telling somebody is your only option.
What advice could you give to people that may be helping deal with a friend that's going through the same things?
Just be supportive and don't ever think that it's not as bad as it looks. In a lot of cases, it doesn't look that bad, and you know, like I said, you can't really fully understand it unless you go through it. So never take it lightly. Listen to all their problems and be as supportive as you can.
What is mindcheck.ca?
Mindcheck.ca is a website for youth and young adults to visit, and basically it's to educate and help raise awareness about mental health problems. And you know, what we're trying to do is get people to talk about it first and foremost, and then direct them towards the right channels and resources to seek help.
You think Rick would be excited if he was around to see a website like this today helping others?
I think so, for sure. I think he'd like his name on the website there, the 37 Rip. He'd enjoy that, but that was his goal, was to help other people, and I'm hoping this is going to be a huge help for a lot of people in the future.
Can this website be a legacy to make sure that what he wanted to get out there will?
Yeah, I hope so. I think he definitely expressed to me on several occasions and some other people in the organization that he wanted to help people out, and youth especially, and getting out his message and helping them deal with their problems. And he obviously never had the time or the opportunity to do it. So this is us and myself carrying his wish forward for him.
Any other messages do you think that Rick would want to pass on to young people?
I think Rick was a big believer in following your dreams and not letting anything get in your way, and he did that. You know, he suffered from this disease for a long time, and you know, he managed it on his own for the most part, but he still accomplished his dreams by doing it, and he wouldn't want anything getting in the way. So, you know, I encourage people to talk about it, you know, share your symptoms, and seek help, and hopefully live a long and happy life.
How often do you think about him, and how much do you miss him?
I'd say every day, for sure. I miss him a lot. Before every home game, every away game, I kind of look at that sticker on the helmet and say a little prayer to him. And no, he's definitely in my thoughts every day, and he's a big part of my life, and I miss him a lot.